The restaurant was glowing with golden chandeliers and quiet whispers of luxury. Every table was draped in silk white linen, every seat filled with people who lived in a world built on money and influence, and right in the middle of it all sat a nervous young woman in a faded sweater, clutching her small purse like it was her lifeline. Her name was Lila. The maid's daughter. She had saved up for weeks to afford this night a $4 blind date. Billionaire's son saw the maid's daughter on a $4 blind date. What he did next shocked everyone. He never expected to fall in love in a place where billion-dollar families never go. But on a random Saturday afternoon, in a tiny street-side burger shack, the billionaire's son Ethan froze in shock. Because the girl sitting at that cheap wooden table, laughing shyly, waiting for a $4 blind date, was the maid's daughter, Lena. The same girl who used to quietly sweep the hallway outside his bedroom door when he was a kid. The same girl who never asked for anything, who wore second-hand shoes, who always walked with her head down so nobody would feel less because of her. Yet today, there she was, brave enough to go on a blind date, even if she could only afford $4. And what broke Ethan's heart? He overheard the guy she was meeting. And the guy wasn't coming. He laughed on the phone, told his friend it was a funny dare to make a poor girl get ready, then dump her. Ethan's hands shook. He felt fire in his chest. And that's where this story truly begins. Before we continue this powerful story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Sodia, where every story reminds us that kindness still matters. Ethan walked toward Lena, slowly, carefully, like someone approaching a broken glass that could shatter with even a whisper. "Hey," he said softly, "is this seat taken?" She looked up, surprised, embarrassed, trying to hide the disappointment in her eyes. "No, but I think my date isn't coming." Her voice cracked only a little. But it was enough to shatter Ethan's heart, so he sat down. And that $4 burger date turned into 3 hours of real conversation. He learned she worked part-time at a bookstore because she wanted to study architecture. He learned she sketched buildings on scrap paper she found in the trash. And she told him, very quietly, that she didn't hate being poor. She just hated that nobody ever thought she could be more. Ethan drove home that evening shaken, not because he pitied her, but because he realized she had more class, more dream, more heart than anyone in his rich circle. Twist came 3 days later, when Ethan asked his father if they could give Lena a small scholarship, something simple, something to just help her apply for school. His father, stone-faced, refused. "Son, we don't mix business and servants." Ethan didn't argue. He didn't yell. He just walked out, and made a decision that shocked everyone in that mansion. The next morning, Ethan arrived in the kitchen. He placed the paperwork on the table in front of Lena's mother, their maid. A full scholarship. University application fees paid. Art supplies included. The billionaire's son had sold his car, the rare, collector Porsche his father gifted him on his 18th birthday, and used the full money for Lena's future. The staff gasped. His father was furious. People whispered, "How could a billionaire's son give up that car for a maid's daughter?" But Ethan didn't care. He said only one sentence. Greater than, "You don't measure a person's value by the size of their wallet, but by the size of their dreams." And months later, when Lena stood on a stage presenting her architecture portfolio, her eyes found Ethan in the crowd. She didn't need fancy clothes. She didn't need to pretend to be rich. She looked like a girl who finally knew she mattered. And maybe that's all any of us really want. Not wealth. Not status. Just one person who believes in us when the world laughs. Moral: sometimes the richest hearts are not found in billion-dollar boardrooms, but in the quiet corners of cheap burger shops, where kindness writes a future money could never buy. If you liked this story, remember, a single act of compassion can rewrite someone's life. Let's try to be that person.